we're all traumatized in different ways. It creates our conditioning. Is that what also inspired you from a young age to then, as you're uncovering, okay, these are my conditioned traumas per se. Is that what then inclined you in the direction to learning about traumas and healing traumas in yourself and others? Or?
No, man, I had a heart condition come up. I never wanted to be what people know me as. This wasn't a dream. This wasn't like, I'm going to grow up and be a speaker and X, Y, and Z. I was so stressed out from the life that I was living that my body kept breaking down. The first big one was I got a skin condition where anywhere the sun touched, I would get hives. That means my face, my toes, anywhere.
No kidding.
And no doctors could figure it out. They just gave me steroids.
Yep.
Said every time this happens, just put the steroids on and stay out of the sun. So I'd wear gloves while I was driving, the whole thing. And there's a lot of statistics around most of the things that people go into the doctor's offices about are psychosomatic, meaning they have less to do with the disease that this person thinks they have and more to do with their stress levels and how they're actually living. And so I was a
interesting
textbook case of this. Then 25 years old, I graduated from Louisiana State University, theater major, get back to LA, start working at Abercrombie and Fitch with my shirt off, doing that thing. And my heart just kept going crazy. And I'm like, this feels weird, man. I told a few people at my job and they were like, bro, you should go actually to a doctor. So I set up an appointment. I go and the doctor says, you need to see a cardiologist immediately. This is a serious situation. So same day, I end up in a cardiologist's office. There's like 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds and me as a 25-year-old kid. Come to find out, I was so stressed and eating so terribly and holding, because the body's a living library that stores everything we've ever been through. And so I had been holding since childhood, not just my trauma, my shame, my stuff, but I was holding my dad's and my mom's and my community. Because some of us grow up in households where everything's free and clear and you talk about stuff. That wasn't my household. We stuffed things down. And so children are very adaptable. And I adapted in a way in which I became an out of the way kid. And so the decision I made as a child was like, oh, they're stressed out. They're battling their own demons. I won't add more. So an example is I never broke anything as a child. I did a bunch of crazy stuff. I was in a gang. I used to do wild stuff. My friends got arrested. My friends got shot. My friends got killed. I never, ever got caught for any of the stuff we did, and nor did I ever break a bone. And that was for one reason. It's because I didn't want to add stress.
Inconvenience mom and dad. Yeah.
Right? So I carried that throughout my life to this point where my heart starts to break down and the doctor says, listen, you're going to need to take pills for the rest of your life. And you might want to look at your diet and how you stress. I was like, what is that? I was literally a regular ass person. Like not the dude you guys see now. Sure. I was nothing like this. That day, I became a vegan. That day, I went home and my ex-girlfriend's mom said, hey, I heard about what happened. And I got this book called Ask and It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. I think you should read it. I know you're dyslexic. I know you don't read, but I think you should. And I was so desperate. I read it. And I remember dropping the book, maybe 5 pages in. It's like, what is this? Your thoughts become things. You create your own reality. Yep. This is 2005. There was no such thing as an influencer. None of this stuff was popular. There was nowhere.
The internet's even just starting to become like a thing.
Then I go watch Zeitgeist and I go down the rabbit hole of conspiracies and the whole, bro, I literally became an angry vegan. I denounced my religion. I went balls to the wall. And then I came out of that eventually and realized that out of my greatest pain came my greatest gain. And that this rejection, if you may, was actually direction, and that this was a part of my calling. And so I stepped forward and I said, God, thank you. Thank you. Because I could have just died, but instead you've supported me. You've helped me help myself. And I feel so alive and so lit up that I'm not just going to keep this for myself. I'm going to go back and help people who don't know. And that began his career.